I bet you could tell from my reading that I get a little excitable. I think they're way more better. Oh my gosh, I've got so many teachers in this audience. Take a moment, gather yourself, have good grammar. Aren't we having a tough time right now? Isn't it a scary time? Don't we need to say it out loud? We can't harbor it. We can't squish it down and hold it within. We have to say it. And what a great place to say it. Here, in a place where we have like-minded people. Where if I say to Mary, I'm scared, Mary will say to me too. Not, what's your problem? When that song, Tom, was perfect, brother. We have strength in each other. And we need to use it, don't we? If we become silent, not just in the protesting and all of that stuff, but if we become silent to our emotions, they go nowhere. I am a clinical psychologist, so I'm super comfortable talking about the touchy-feely stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about emotions management, is what we would call it in my field. This is a time fraught with emotion. And if you think that the liberal side is the only side that's scared, you're wrong. You're wrong. They are scared for the same reasons, only opposite. And we can have compassion for that. Because if we get caught up in hatred, this is not a time for that. This is not a time to us and them. This is a time to say, oh my gosh, we all are scared. And to become the community that we say that we want. I believe that when our words and our behavior don't match, we have sickness. I believe it with my whole heart. If I say that I care about my community, that doesn't just mean the people in this room. That means people who don't like me because of who I love. That doesn't mean I'm going to be their best friend. It means I can have compassion for them. So I want to talk a little bit about assuaging some of those feelings that we're having, the big emotions. We talk about big emotions in my job all the time. First of all, by saying it out loud and giving it a name, it helps. Have you ever been sick with something and you didn't know what? And the doctors didn't know what? And it was so frustrating because you've got all this going on. And there's nothing you can do. You can't get medicine for something that you don't know the name of. So imagine, I go to my doctor and I've got red bumps. And they started in my armpits and on the small of my back. And they get a little crusty at the top and they itch. And I say, Doc, I think I have the flu. Doc's gonna go, honey, you got some chicken pox is what you got. If I go to him and I take medicine for the flu, it's not gonna help the chicken pox. But when he says, no, Linda, that's chicken pox, okay, now we can treat it. We have to say it out loud. How many of you parents have said repeatedly, use your words? But then, somehow as adults, we stop using our words. This is dangerous. because we tamp down all the words that are attached to the feelings, and then it's like having an emotional vault, like a bank vault. We throw our bad emotions, don't we call them bad emotions sometimes, the ones we just don't like? We throw them all in there, and we slam the door, and then we open it, throw some more in, and we slam the door, and we keep throwing it in, and slamming the door, and slamming it, and pretty soon it's full. And it takes one tiny thing, and there's no room in the vault, and the door explodes, and it all comes out, and it may come out sideways at someone you love. And we've all done it. I've done it. Many of you know that my mother just passed. And this beautiful woman filming me right now has unfortunately had some moments where I was in the middle of my grief and I didn't have words. And God, like, bless all of the deities, bless her, because she amazingly has walked me through some of the worst times. We heard today that John feels broken. You ever felt broken? Yes. You ever felt broken? Me too. He put a name on it. This is what I feel. And then we all go, oh, yes. Oh, I know what that feels like. And we feel it with John. And then, in the truest sense of the words, we get to minister to John. But do you know what's most important? That John can minister to himself. If in my example about chicken pox, if the doctor said, here's the medicine, and I said, that's great. See, I would have to administer that medicine myself, to myself. We must have a name for the thing, and then we need to take the medicine. So what kind of medicine? Part of the medicine is knowing what gift that emotion brings. Now, I'm a little bit older than some of y'all, so back in my day, we didn't get to have too many emotions. Gen X, can you feel me? We didn't get to, like, rub some dirt, you're fine. You're fine. I promise if any of you are saying that to your children, come talk to me and send them to me as a therapist, because they're gonna need it. We're not fine sometimes, and it's okay to say so. And sometimes we don't have the exact word, like depressed, anxious. Sometimes you can say, something doesn't feel okay, and that's enough. But there's a gift in it. The gift is that we get to feel. We get to feel. Chemicals in our body, that's what emotions are. I believe that we're just a skin sac with electrical impulses and chemicals flowing. Emotions are chemicals. And if we understand that, then we don't call them good and bad, right? That's anger, so that's a bad one. Joy, that's great. No, they're all necessary. Some of you struggle with an anxiety disorder. I do. I'll be quite honest. I take medicine, and I'm not ashamed of it. But do you know, if I begrudge anxiety as a whole, imagine I'm being chased by a bear and I have no anxiety in my body. I wouldn't run. I would be eaten. There's a blessing in having the emotions, even the ones we're uncomfortable with. I am going to ask you to sit in your discomfort. When those emotions come in and you go, oh, Sit in that. What is this? Oh, anxiety. Where does that come from? Oh, what can I do with it? Remember, emotions are energy. We can go for a run. Oh, well, actually, we can't. Some of us are too old for that. A little creaky in the knees. But I'm sure some of you are fine. Or we can go to the gym. Or some of you might be painters. Apparently there's going to be art for sale that could go directly to the church. I endorse this. I have, and I shared with Peter, I have a giant hand pan that's a beautiful drum, and he was supposed to play it today, but one of us is geriatric and forgot. But music, Tom, music heals the savage heart, is the quote. Music heals, art heals, exercise heals. We can do these things. That's our medicine. But do you know what else helps? Chocolate and food, apparently. I love this corner. What else helps is talking with another human being. And you don't have to see a counselor. You can. One of us here has a private practice. But just talking to each other. When your emotions are high, we have these crazy, crazy things called phones. And we can say, hello, I'm really anxious today. Can we just talk for a minute? We can go to coffee with a friend. If you are in traditional recovery, you can hit a meeting. There are a million ways to sort of bring that down. I'm freaking out about the time because one of us didn't pay attention. And when Mary was reading the quote, or I'm not going to find it. It was going to be lovely. About how what we're responsible for growing in our lives. I will tell you that there are weeds that we have to pull in our internal garden. Self-doubt. Self-loathing. Some of you grew up in homes that you're still healing from. And those messages are still in your ears. Call them a lie. When those thoughts come trickling through, you say, is that the truth or is it a lie? And if it's a lie, we say so. Because those contribute to our emotions. Do not become your own abuser. When we perpetuate the lies of our childhood or society that tells us we're not enough, when we perpetuate that, we have become our own abuser. I'm going to dare you to stop that. I'll double dog dare you to stop doing that. Don't be a liar. Those are lies. You are enough. Dear human, you're enough. See what? Here's a secret. John isn't broken. He feels broken. That's different. John is whole. We are all whole. In this moment, are you doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing? You came to church, you sang the songs, you stood, you sat, you listened to a story. You did everything you were supposed to do this morning, didn't you? Then you're whole. In this moment, you are healed. See, we move from healing to healing to healing to healing and healing and healing. See, every day is like at the beach. The beach is my happy place, folks. And on the beach, it's littered with wood and shells and seaweed and kelp. And the big giant wave of the ocean comes down and snatches up all of that stuff from yesterday, pulls it out and leaves what we need for today. Because yesterday's tools belong in yesterday, but today's tools, man, sometimes we set our toolbox down and we march away from it. And sometimes we reach for the old tools that are broken and rusty, and because the handle feels right in our hand, but the tool is ineffective. My brothers and sisters, today we're a family. I refer to all of my patients as my brothers and sisters. I have begun doing that in every part of my life. At the grocery store. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. It's intention. See, we talk about living intentionally as if it's something we don't do, but I promise you everything we do is intentional. It's not a matter of whether or not we will intend, it's what we will intend. What will you intend today? Just a few things. Breathe. Do you catch yourself holding your breath? I do. Breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And if you're real crazy, inhale peace and exhale worry. And see it in your mind's eye. Be kind, not just to everyone else, but here. See, kindness starts here, and from the overflow, I want to splash grace and kindness and love everywhere I go. I want to stomp in the puddle and let it splash on you. Be quiet when you need to. Be alone when you need to. The world is loud. And know this. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved. I have one last thing, and I'm going to explain. We passed out some keys. Everybody got their key? I want you to hold it up. This, my friends, is the key to the rest of your life. It opens any door you put it in, good or bad. You open the bad door, everything you have tried to avoid and put behind you will come out, engulf you. But man, if we put it in the right door, the good door, everything we want will come out and engulf us. This, my friends, this is the key to the rest of your life. Blessings on your head, my friends. Thank you for your time.